Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another episode of Adventures Chat Log. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful week so far. My week has been not too bad. Night shift has been killing me, but I still got excuse me, I still got another week to go. But there was a live letter last night, so I have to go through them with you guys, especially in the official translations, so they concise everything and then packaged it for us to read. And I'll leave you the description down below, because I don't think I want to go through all of this, because I had a quick read through, and after the EUREKA stuff, all the questions were like, why are you asking this question? But obviously some other people are quite interested in that, so I'm not gonna judge. But I won't be covering all of those questions past EUREKA. I feel like it doesn't really add much to like the gameplay, the game balance, and everything. So with that in mind, let's start, because I feel like it's gonna be a long episode of Adventures Chat Log. We're gonna go through all these questions. So basically the live letter is a Q&A, and the first question was, after the patch went live, the instances were congested, which made it very difficult to participate. Are you considering plans to move the instant battles to the end of the quest line, or any countermeasures to mitigate the congestion? So they said, we apologize that we had to undergo emergency maintenance on the day of the patch release. We encountered similar issues previously, which led to the same congestion issues occurring during quest instance battles. We had measures in place for it. However, a human error occurred as well that caused the issue. As we would like for many people to enjoy the story, we made adjustments and worked up until the very last minute, but it's very important to be able for everyone to play it. So we'll be sure to carefully balance this moving forward. The structure of the main scenario quest is tied in the flow with the flow of the scenario, so we can't always move the instance battles towards the end, but we will continue to make measures for the congestions. I feel like I didn't have any problem actually with the main scenario quests. The problem I had was with the Sigmascape, unlocking it, and the instance battle there was I think I was there for like 20 minutes trying to get into the instance battle. So I never had the Robon problem, but everyone was shouting this is Robon 2.0. And if you guys don't know that, that's, I believe, at the start of the Stormblood story quest, where everyone had problems with it. There were like people forming lines so they can get into that instance battle, or that particular quest. So I never had that problem, because I believe on the day that they released Stormblood, I didn't actually get to play straight away. I believe I might have been on the night shift, or for some reason every patch I'm on night shift. Or I might have been working at a PM, so I had to come back at night. So I think they fixed it by then, so I didn't ever have any problems with it, I believe. Thinking back, can't remember much. Anyway, going on to the next question. While there are adjustments for all three tank jobs, we still think the Paladin is the most efficient of the three. Will there be increases to Warrior and Dark Knight support abilities and DPS? Party support abilities are aspects of the job's identity, so we won't make everything exactly the same. Also, we believe the Warriors are very strong right now. I only played Warrior once, and that was yesterday when I actually went into an expert roulette, and I feel like, yeah, that damage, man, that 10-second span is amazing. I was like doing like 11 10k to 12k, sometimes even 13k. You know, and yeah, that 10 seconds feels very strong, but obviously I don't know the numbers and I don't main warrior, but I feel like it's just my own opinion, and I'm sure a lot of the warriors will torch me if they actually watch my video, but I feel like they're actually in a good place. The Dark Knight, I don't play Dark Knight, so I can't really comment on that, but I do believe on what they're saying, that they don't want to make every job exactly the same, because that's the whole point of having a different job, so it doesn't feel like you're actually playing the same job as the other one. So yeah, next question actually covers a little bit more of this. The Blackest Night adjustments for Dark Knight was nice. However, I feel the effect of the Dark Passenger and Shadow Wall are still low compared to the MP cost and length of the recast time. I would like to see Dark Knight's defensive properties expanded. It feels like we've been receiving more requests to adjust the other jobs since the latest warrior adjustment. We believe that the balance within each of the roles are starting to even out. So we're currently discussing to see how we can make adjustments to Dark Knight. Please wait a bit longer. Content is balanced and recast times for buffs. Content is balanced around the recast times of the buffs. So we don't think jobs will be strengthened simply by reducing the recast timers. We would like to carefully look into this. I believe that they do this the right way, that they balance the content around the recast timers of the buffs. So you should always have a particular buff for a particular tank buster. And you know, I mean, there obviously, if someone dies, you have to pop a little bit more and maybe do a bit of tank swapping in here and there, but I believe they do balance everything around the recast timers for buffs. And I think the reducing the recast timers, what it does is basically just makes it easier for the player to actually keep popping buffs, you know. And I feel like I don't know about, you know, Dark Knight, so I can't really comment, but I do believe in what they're saying. And the only thing I don't believe is when they said that they've balanced the roles are even out, especially after the warrior adjustment. I believe that the warrior was in a good spot already, and the paladin was in a good spot. The only thing that they needed to do was actually balance out Dark Knight, but I don't know if they did the warrior changes because of the new content. That's probably something to think about. So next up is for tank accessories. I believe it's much more useful to meld direct hit onto the new crafted accessories than using accessories obtained from the new tokens and Savage Raid. Are there any plans to adjust the stats on the accessories in the future? The answer, I believe the issue here is that the first groups of players trying to complete the raids quickly are in favor of pushing their DPS. Once they obtain Savage accessories, we don't think they will need that much DPS. We met players at the event today that suggested to make it so you can't meld direct hit on them. While I understand the comments on this will be split, we are carefully discussing this right now. So this feels like the same thing that happened in Deltascape. Basically, the tanks were rocking the crafted accessories and, you know, pentamelding direct hit on them to push their DPS much further. And this is what I've done as well, since I main tank in Deltascape, but now I don't main tank anymore. I joined another group and now I'm playing Ninja. Yeah, Ninja with my ping Ninja. Anyway, my opinion on this is I think it's fine. I mean, how do I say it? Before we had to meld strength plus direct hit. Now we're just melding direct hit all together, and I feel like it's fine, you know, if the content is made so you actually don't need that much DPS for the particular like if you reach the eye level that is required for that particular instance, you should be able to beat it without penta melding anything. That's just what I believe. I believe they made the content so you can finish it to the point where your eye level is, you know, you meet the minimum eye level. So if everyone's eye level is like 350 for the 350 instance, and you don't have all these pentameld, all these melded accessories, melded gear, you can still beat it. That's what I believe. Just have food. Anyway, next question. Do you have any plans to buff support abilities for jobs that didn't receive any update in patch 4.2, such as Samurai and Red Mage? We have no plans to make adjustments on the Red Mage at this time. Since we buff monks, players are asking for some type of buff for Samurai, so we're thinking of making adjustments that will push their DPS to match their job concept. So no buffs for Red Mage, sorry for you guys, but looks like Samurai will be getting a little bit of a buff. And this is a whole nother video which I really want to do, and leave down in the comments below if you want me to do this video as well. But chances are I'm gonna do it, but the thing is I don't know when I'm actually gonna be able to release the actual video because of my night shift. But if more people really want me to do it, I might do it when I'm still sort of awake after my night shift duties, and I might release it then. And this is for how monks are right now. Even though I'm not maining monk, I still play monk. I'm telling you guys, I still play monk as much as I can. And I feel like, you know, where they are right now, because I feel like the buffs were nice. I mean, I made a video saying that it's really good, it's gonna be great, but after playing it, it's just like, yeah, this ability doesn't really you know, it's still useful in some ways, but it's still very specific. I can use Tornado Kick every minute now, but I don't think it's like a huge DPS increase. Anyway, I digress. Moving on to the next question. After the recent changes, Black Mage became much smoother to play. I think we just need support abilities to complete the adjustment. But do you have any plans to add any or make adjustment to this? We believe everyone is focusing on their main job. However, we're making sure experience when playing the jobs are different. So they're reiterating what they said before, and I do believe that this should be the case. You shouldn't be asking Black Mage to have more support abilities like raising or whatever, because that's the other job's job. I actually felt like the summoner shouldn't be having any raise anymore. I think they should just completely take raise off from summoner, because that, you know, it's not really a summoner job. At least that's just how I feel. Yeah. At the very least, we have no plans to add any new support abilities in the 4-point series. Also, there seems to be a trend where players believe that there are disadvantages when they bring certain jobs to raids, but there won't be any major disadvantage or advantage no matter what setup you have. And I believe this as well. Obviously, there are like metas, but you should be able to clear you know, the raids with whatever setup you want. At least that's how I like to think of it. Yeah. Next question. Do you have plans to add a system that would allow gear converted to glamour to be used using the previous glamour method without the use of a plate? We're currently receiving a lot of calls to our support center from players saying they converted the wrong gear. Converted gear aren't gone completely. They can still be used as glamour. We may change or adjust to the point of how it cannot be used as a normal gear. However, there's still issue about inventory size, so we haven't decided on this yet. We're all developing a system that allow glamoring directly using the items stored inside the dresser. I'm sorry, but I can't comment any of this because I haven't done any, like, I haven't even used the glamour dresser. Yeah. So I'm just gonna move on. Do you have plans to increase the amount of items that can be stored inside the glamour dresser or add more glamour plates? This will increase the amount of data passed through the network, so we're discussing where we can increase and make this possible to increase the areas in which the plates can be applied, or to increase the amount of plates. We need to choose one, and we're currently thinking of increase the number of plates available. So yeah, again, moving on. You're able to participate in Fashion Report at level 15, but is it possible to get a high score with just a low level gear? We would like Fashion Report to be the reason to start glamoring. You may think there's no point in getting higher than 80 points, but for new players who just started adventure, we would like them to feel that they're able to enjoy glamoring as their level increase. So yeah, I mean, I haven't even unlocked that yet. I'm not into the whole super glamour thing. Yeah. Next question. When will fishers receive a new secondary tool? Compared to the other desires of the land, their stats are lower because of the secondary tool. I'm looking forward to secondary tool with strong stats. Fishers are set up in a special way. We haven't added any attributes to their secondary tool and haven't included as part of the balancing. As for why they have GP, the durability of their gear will drop when they fish. So to compensate for this, we have added the GP. Good to know. Would it be possible to add, but actually I already knew that fishers are special because you don't need a high gathering rate to actually get some fish. You can still get them even with your low gathering points, whatever. Anyway, next question. Would it be possible to add optional items such as Ida or Emmerich's outfit to the armor or Calamity Salvager? Calamity Salvager check the character's achievements, so we cannot do this. For this reason, we're looking to address this via the armor. Moving on. The dye information is lost when storing items in the armor, making it hard to store items that are dyed rare colors. Would it be possible to retain the dye information for items stored inside the armor? Final Fantasy 14 is making adjustments in bits. We cannot add additional space to the systems to store the dye information, so we cannot do this. Oh, that was shut down. I thought they would like say something like, "Oh, we have to check the servers, how they're gonna store this, blah blah blah." Anyway, cutscenes. Next question. Cutscenes can no longer be skipped in Castrum Meridianum and Praetorium main scenarios dungeons to accommodate for new players. Are there any other dungeons or trials that are scheduled to be adjusted like this? I actually didn't know this, but that's probably because I don't really do the roulette for the main scenario. I think I did them before the patch, but that's about it, and I still skip it. Anyway, we stopped including cutscenes within content, so we don't feel we need to make further changes. We think the reward for Castrum Meridianum and Praetorium aren't balanced enough, so we're planning to enhance the rewards. That's good to know. I mean, you're gonna sit there and watch the entire cutscene. It's very painful. So it's good that they stopped doing cutscenes within the content, and you only do the content and then you get the cutscene. So yeah, I believe that it was nice before, but seeing that we're onto the second expansion now, a lot of the older players actually don't feel like doing it. So this will actually the way they implemented this, I feel is wrong, because if people find out you cannot skip the cutscenes, people will do it less. Like people who actually do the main scenario roulette to help new players, or because it gives them experience as well for their particular job or class. Yeah, a lot of more. I think people will get turned off on actually doing it. So hopefully that's not the case, and people will still do it. And I mean, they're saying they're enhancing the rewards, so meaning more experience maybe. So, I don't know. Anyway, in the Jade Store Extreme, There's a strategy where you use the tank limit break to ignore through the roar of thunder. But did the dev team plan for this strategy? We did not foresee this. Similar to the great strategy for the Meteor phase in the second coil of Bahamut turn 4, this was something the players created on their own. So we think this is good as is. However, if we're going to use tank limit break, make sure to discuss with your group beforehand. Now, this was actually something I learned, I think, on the second day, where the people were using tank limit breaks. Yeah, I feel like, but I haven't actually had any experience doing it. Like, people still, if you do raid finders and such, people still use the DPS limit break. Yeah, I don't know about now. I haven't been back to Jade Story Extreme in like a week. More than a week, really. Basically, the first 3 days I went there, but then I got my monk weapon, I got my ninja weapon, and then I stopped altogether. Because I don't feel like raid finding it, and since I'm in a Japanese server, a lot of the party finders are like Japanese people only. So, yeah. Anyway, let me take a sip of water. There's a rumor where people believe warriors playing on a SSD have an advantage inside Omega Sigmascape version 1.0. Savage using the SSD or not does not change anything. The loading time is adjusted so they're loaded the same. It's just the timing. So I feel like, yeah, this was something that people are actually doing. I don't know if they're gonna change this. I thought they would change it, but since they addressed it in this live letter, I'm guessing they haven't addressed it. Actually, I should look at the patch notes if they've done it. I'm sorry, guys. I actually haven't seen the new patch notes if they actually fix this. But if they're talking about it here, they probably haven't done it. But if they have, anyway, leave a comment down below and let me know. Or I'll look it up myself later. Or else this video will be a lot longer. Next question. How do you feel about the current progression of Omega Sigmascape and what was originally assumed by the development team? Just like Omega Deltascape, we see many players challenging it. For those that completed the previous Savage 4.0, they may feel the progression is slower, but it's only the second week, so don't rush and enjoy it. I actually feel like this is a lot faster. Sigmascape version 2.0 actually feels really easy, especially if you're a melee. Yeah, I actually just cleared it yesterday. Okay, guys, I actually got a video for that, but I haven't had a video me beating 05 Savage. So I can't release the second one before I release the first one, because actually when I was doing 05, I did it in Raid Finder as well, and I forgot to hit the record button because I was recording and then I didn't feel like the group was gonna beat it, but I just kept pushing through and I stopped recording, and then we managed to beat it. And then I'm like, oh my god, I didn't record this. Anyway, and yeah, going back, 06 Savage, I feel was quite easy because I only did one practice round. So I did the practice for like 50 minutes. And then I went to Raid Finder, I went for duty completion and managed to beat it in the fourth pool. So I feel like, yeah, 06 is a little bit easier. I haven't tried 07 yet, but yeah, like what they said, just don't rush. Try to enjoy it as much as you can. I know some people are rushing, and my group will probably try and rushing it as well. But yeah, this is only because we want to get it done so we can move on to other things, and that's what I wanted to do. But I haven't done that in a very, very long time. I think the last time I actually did that, like everything was just, you know, farming, was back in the original coil, and then every subsequently every raids after those were pretty bad. Yeah, no, my groups never finished anything, and then Heaven's Word came, and that was probably the lowest of the low. Like, I've never finished any of the last raid boss for a particular, for the actual raid tier. And it was pretty sad. Heaven's Word's probably my lowest point as a gamer, especially in Final Fantasy 14 anyway. And up to this day, I still haven't beaten not O8, A8 and A12 Savage. I still haven't beaten them. It's quite sad, actually. I should really do them at some point, maybe, if my group wants to do it. Probably not. But anyway, moving on. I'm sorry for that sad little soliloquy that I just did there. Anyway, moving on. The characters really stood out in the Ananta Beast Tribe quests, which made it really fun. I'm looking forward to the next Beast Tribe quest series, but will we see the Namazu or the Lupin? The next Beast Tribe will be Disciples Land and Hand specific. Popular characters will be involved, and we believe it'll be exciting. You may see some characters that were involved in the main scenario as well, so please look forward to it. For the triple triad, even if we're able to collect rare cards, because there are limitations to the card setup, we are limited to cards we can use. Would you consider easing up on these limitations? So we're discussing making some more adjustments, so please wait a bit more. Actually, this is the whole reason why I'd never played Triple Triad apart from the first time it was released, because I'm like, oh, I got these old good cards, but I can't use them all, so what's the point? The number of minions have increased, so it can be quite difficult to find a minion I'd like to summon, so this is just going about minions. So basically they are looking for any ideas and suggestions and feedbacks for this. Next question. It's become difficult to complete various large-scale fates because of the number of participants has decreased. This is true. Do you have any plans to give incentive to players adding rewards or adjusting the strength of the boss? So they don't have any plans to add new rewards, but they are planning to make adjustments to their strength. Next page. Next question. When can we exchange the 99 totems to obtain mounts from Susano in Lakshmi Extreme? I would like to know this too. I have instructed the team to do it by patch 4.25, so we might see that in the next patch. Next question. Do you have plans to introduce mounts to seat 4 to 8 players? We may implement this sometime in the future. Look forward to it. Do you have plans to expand in the stats of the Chocobo companion? I would like to see my companion to be more active, similar to Alpha. The companion system is very complicated, we're asking for more time to introduce additions and adjustments. I actually don't really use that, but okay. It's starting to become difficult to find new emotes in the long list of them. Would it be possible to make visually easier to find them, such as adding new next to them? We're talking to the UI team about that, so look forward to it. Could you let us know the status of the mobile app? So the mobile app is actually releasing in patch 4.3, and we hope this is the future letter for the producer live as well. The app is tied to in-game using a large-scale server, so we're carefully preparing the final tests. And this is the big one, and probably the last question that I'll actually read through, because I feel like the next questions, like I said, is like, doesn't add anything. It's more of the last few questions where I'm like, yeah, no, this, nah. Anyway, you mentioned there are features to strengthen weapons inside the Forbidden Land of EUREKA, but I would like to know how this will be done. So, I need another drink. Okay, so the following thing they have listed is just basically the overview of the information presented on the show. So the Forbidden Land of EUREKA is an unexplored, untamed wild where the very elements are constantly in flux. While exploring Eureka and growing in strength, players will have the opportunity to obtain and enhance Eureka gear and weapons. Strengthening the weapons from Eureka isn't required to keep exploring. Up to 144 players can occupy the instance, so think of this as a new field area. Players may form and disband parties with other party players at will. Sorry, bit of a hiccup there. So, from what I understand, for each instance there will only be 144 players there. So, if there will be another instance with another 144 players. I hope, because there's no way 144 players for one particular place. That's so limiting. But yeah, I feel like there's multiple instances, but there's only 144 players in each one of them. And how many instances there are, they didn't say. So, for player progression, players will utilize a new feature known as the Magia Melder. Eureka will continue to expand during the 4.x series, and the level cap for the elemental levels will also increase. Elemental experience is experience points that can only be earned inside Eureka. The more players you have in your group, the more that the experience you earn will decrease. However, in exchange, you'll be able to chain bonus. You'll also be able to earn experience points solo as well. The Magia board and Magicite, think of it as adding elemental properties to yourself for battle. The elemental aspects of enemies encountered in the Forbidden Land, Eureka, are imbued with powers aspected to a particular element. By strengthening the Thunder element, your damage against water-based enemies will increase, and by strengthening the Water element, you'll have greater defense against water-based attacks, and I believe you'll have a stronger damage to fire-based enemies. Penalties incurred when KO'd. When players are KO'd and their time runs out, causing them to be warped back, they will lose elemental experience. However, if they are revived by another player before this, they will not suffer the penalty. So this is like old school MMO with the penalties and everything. Back then, when you die, you lose a bit of the experience you have. So it was like, don't die, don't die. Yeah. And then they showcase the gameplay as well. In order to enter Eureka, you must talk to the NPC Rodney in Kugane. You can also check the Magia board here. There is also a Aetherite in Eureka, and the whole place is a unique field area. You'll also encounter familiar NPCs such as Geralt and Kryle. We hope you're looking forward to see why they're actually there. There are repair shops and shops that sell consumable items that are useful within the area as well. Although it was sunny in the Eureka during the preview, the weather is often bad due to the existence of untamed wild elementals. You also cannot mount up to the exploration until the exploration is completed. The attributes of monsters can be confirmed by targeting them. Basically, you should choose the advantageous attributes for yourself when comparing the attribute of the enemy. You can select the attributes by rotating the Magia board for a predetermined number of times. There is a cost required to rotate the board, and it will recover over time. You can also recover this cost by touching the Magia Melder located at the base. In addition, the Magia Melder can adjust how many Magicites are assigned to each attribute. Depending on your plans, you can choose whether to assign a certain attribute heavily or assign them evenly. Monsters in Eureka will follow you for much longer distance compared to the regular monsters that you encounter outside Eureka. Since you will receive a large amount of damage from enemies whose elemental level is higher than yourself, it is quite difficult to shake them off. Notorious monsters may appear under certain conditions, and these monsters will drop rare items. The contribution to the fight works the same way as Fate's, so it doesn't mean you must land your attack before others. Player search inside EUREKA is also available, since it is possible to turn on a looking for party status. You can use it to group up with players with similar elemental levels as yourself on the spot. Now, for the rewards in the Forbidden Land of EUREKA, there are EUREKA gear and weapons. While exploring EUREKA, players may obtain protein crystals. These crystals may be used to obtain and enhance EUREKA gear and weapons gradually with the aid of Geralt. We're planning to change the playstyle as we introduce later versions of EUREKA. Players can use the same player search feature to search players within EUREKA. By changing the player's online status to seeking party, players close to your level will be displayed and you can invite them to parties. You may also shout for form parties, use the player search feature, or proactively form parties to play this content. Players will receive AF3 job specific equipment, weapons with special effects, and gear that are dyeable as a reward. We also have gear which we receive requests to remove role restrictions from. We initially pushed back the release of EUREKA to patch 4.25 so it can be played once everyone has nearly completed gathering their token gear and defeated the raids. Whew, that was a long post. So, just to cover everything, basically you go to EUREKA, you can look for parties, you earn elemental experience, which is different experience points, and you can basically change your aspected elemental using the Magia board, and enemies will have their own elemental aspects as well, so you have to know which one is weak and which one is strong, and where you are weak and where you are strong. And penalties is incurred if you get KO'd, so going solo is a little bit dangerous. You know, I think people will form parties with healers. They'll be in much high demand, and basically we get AF3 weapons with special effects. That special effects is something different in Final Fantasy XIV. Whether it'll be a very job specific special effect, we'll find out, but I do believe that is very special indeed, because none of the weapons in the entire Final Fantasy XIV actually had any effects at all. So people might want to get into this and find out what the special effects are, and if they are advantageous to bring to raids, then, you know, people will be like pretty enthusiastic about it. Whether it'll be like a DPS increase for certain skills or something else, then yeah. But what I'm worried about here is actually they reported there will be AF3 armor as well. Whether we will receive those armor outside EUREKA, they didn't say. They just said players will receive AF3 job specific equipment, weapons with special effect, and gear that are dyeable as a reward. I'm not so sure if that will be the AF3 gear, so I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, hopefully we'll find out more soon. And I think that's it for this video, guys. I think this has gone long enough. Like I said, I'm not gonna go through the others because they're like talking about octopus. They'll make adjustments so you can fish up more octopus. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it for this video, guys. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys about all the things that we've discussed right here. Leave a comment down below, and also follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.